Beliefs. What separates a guy with no confidence, no self-esteem, and no success with women with the guy who is the complete opposite, the one who gets all the women? What separates a guy like Charlie Sheen with the guy who looks like Charlie Sheen but who's a real tool around women? Why is the real Charlie Sheen getting laid with hot supermodels and the lookalike don't? Well, there can be lots of explanations, of course. One might be that the real Charlie is famous. Another one, that he's rich. A third one, that he's using cocaine. If we are to believe Charlie, however, he's not using anymore. Other than those factors, there could obviously be plenty more of them. The real Charlie might be better in bed. He might have a sharper tongue. He might be more charming, etc. But whatever the difference, we can be rest assured that it is not his looks that attracts women. If it were, his lookalike should be swimming in pussy as well. But he don't. So, what's the difference? The difference between the two is simply their belief systems and how they use their minds. It's all about how they look at themselves and how highly they value themselves. That's what decided who became a movie star and who ended up in an automobile shop. Of course, Charlie is son to a highly respected movie star, Martin Sheen, and thus he obviously had his road laid ahead of him since a young age. But there are many true life examples who can prove my point. Donald Trump, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, all self-made billionaires. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Leo Messi, all self-made sports stars. And then we have Hugh Hefner and of course yours truly himself, two self-made womanizers. It doesn't matter what the profession or skill is. A high achiever, no matter what he or she has achieved, has done so for pretty much one reason only. He has conditioned his mind into having the proper traits and he has high enough beliefs about himself so that he allows himself to be successful. And that's it. Now, most successful people have had these beliefs conditioned without their conscious effort or knowing. They were simply experiencing some at the right moment in their childhood, usually, and unconsciously made a positive belief about themselves because of that experience. Usually that belief was that they were superior to other people in some way, shape, or form, and I think you should believe that as well. But how? How can you just change your beliefs? You must have your current beliefs for a reason, right? I mean, the sky is still blue no matter how much you're trying to change your beliefs about it. Well, there's a difference between beliefs and beliefs. A belief that the sky is blue is a healthy, true belief. It is based on physical, tangible evidence to support it. But then we also hold beliefs that don't have that kind of evidence. For example, I am a winner or I am a loser. Because beliefs like that are only based on your perception of things. And more often than not, they are based on past experiences that you have either blown out of proportion or not even given the time of thought. You see, no matter what you believe about yourself, you could probably find thousands of past experiences and memories disproving that belief, probably just as many of which proves it. When you think about something, regardless of what it is, your unconscious mind will start to look through its database and find evidence to support whatever you were thinking about. If you ask yourself, why am I a pussy? You will have basically given your unconscious mind an instruction to find out proof of why you are. Past memories and failures will pop up and they will support and strengthen your current belief that you are a pussy. But the same goes in the other direction as well. Instead of asking yourself a negative question, ask yourself a positive one. And likewise, your unconscious is going to come up with evidence for that question as well. So do this now, just as an experiment. Number 1, ask yourself why you are a loser. Then write down a couple of things that you can come up with. Actually, write down everything that you can come up with. After that, number 2, ask yourself why you are a winner. Then write down everything that you can come up with. So pause the video and do this now. Now, which list was the largest? If the first list was the largest, then you're clearly dealing with an unconscious negative belief system. But that was not what I wanted to prove. What I was after was this. Can you clearly see now that whatever you ask yourself, you will get an answer to? Your unconscious mind is like an all-powerful genie in a bottle. But except for just granting you 3 wishes, he will grant pretty much every wish that you have. And how do you express your wishes to him? By thinking. Actually, everything that you think about is interpreted as a wish by your unconscious mind. If you think that you're a loser, your unconscious is actually setting that up as a goal for you. And if you don't change the direction with new thoughts, you'll end up there as well. Think of your unconscious mind as a big ship. Your conscious mind or your thinking brain is the captain. You will steer that ship anywhere that you want as long as you give proper instructions on a continuous basis, without too many failures in reading the map. Every time you think about something that is not 100% directly beneficial towards reaching your destination, whatever that might be, it's adding time towards reaching it. So what you're saying is that I should just stop thinking negative thoughts? Is that what you're asking me? Well, it's not that easy. Personally, I think the law of attraction, The Secret, and all of that is a scam. Why? Not because what they're saying theoretically doesn't work, but it is pretty much impossible to consciously change your thought patterns in such a major way that it will change your life. I've tried, but I've never succeeded. Actually, I don't know anyone else who has either, except for the ones who are writing the books and making the films. And telling people that you just have to know this one little secret and you'll get everything you ever wanted, it is a great way to make money. The masses, they want a quick fix, a magic pill. In reality, however, there is no such thing. So, what was the purpose of all this? Why did I bring this up if you can't consciously change your thought patterns? Well, I said you can't consciously change it. However, there's a way to change your unconscious mind and thus change your conscious mind as well. You see, it isn't your conscious mind that decides on how you behave. As a matter of fact, 99% of everything you do is done totally unconsciously. For example, when you're driving a car, are you consciously driving it or are you unconsciously driving it? Do you have to think about every single thing that you do? Now I have to pull down the gas pedal. Now I have to look in the mirror, etc. No, that's not what you do. When you were learning how to drive, you did so consciously. Yes, that's why it was so hard as well. But now you drive a car without thinking. You can talk in the cell phone, send a text, and eat a sandwich all at the same time as you're driving because it's all done unconsciously. It works by your unconscious mind interprets the situation that you're in, then react to it by sending a signal to your subconscious mind, which in turn sends a signal to your conscious mind. Then you send a signal back to your unconscious from your conscious mind, and so on. And this is how it works. As you can see in the picture, the big circle represents your unconscious. The little dot in the middle is your conscious mind, and the thick border around it is your subconscious. The communication between the unconscious and the conscious via the subconscious and vice versa is called the stream of consciousness. And the best way to grasp how all this works is, like I said, by imagining yourself being on a ship. The captain of the ship, you, is your conscious mind. It takes the ship wherever you want it to go. The steering wheel in the ship is your subconscious. The ship itself is your unconscious. If you're conscious, the captain, and your unconscious, the ship, are working together in harmony, meaning they have an effective communication between each other and are going towards the same destination, you're going to feel happy, elated, and confident. If they are not communicating well, however, you're going to feel anxious, confused, and lost. What we're going to do in Module 3 is set up a proper communication between your conscious mind and your unconscious mind and put them both working towards reaching the same destination. Basically, you're going to give your unconscious clear and detailed instructions of where you want to go and what type of person you want to become. And once that destination is properly set by using laser targeting and reframing, you're going to experience it for real very, very quickly. Okay, how imagination can change our beliefs. Did you know that your unconscious mind, which decides on your personality and everything else, can't separate real experiences from imagined ones? And to prove to you that it can't, here's an experiment done by Dwight Mendoza and Harvey Wishman in 1978. And by the way, there have been numerous other studies done on this subject. This is just one example. They took 32 college kids and measured their ability to throw darts. After the initial test, they divided them into 4 different groups that will be tested again in 6 days to see what kind of improvement they would have. This is how the groups proceeded during those 6 days. Number 1, the first group would have no further practice at dart throwing whatsoever. The second group would mentally rehearse throwing darts without physical movement. Number 3, the third group will mentally rehearse throwing darts and at the same time move their arms like they would actually throw a dart. And the fourth group, the last, would do only physical practice and no mental practice. Can you guess how the test went? Actually, the ones who didn't practice didn't get any sort of improvement, obviously. The other 3 groups, however, all got very similar results and all of them improved immensely. So what conclusions can we draw from this? That it doesn't matter whether you practice something in your mind or in real life. Your brain will not know the difference. And this is beautiful because this means that we can practice picking up women mentally before we even go out and do it for real. If you can imagine yourself talking to women, being confident around them, and getting laid for 30 minutes a day, that will benefit you just as much as doing it for real. And actually, if you can imagine yourself being confident and successful, it's going to benefit you even more. Instead of having to deal with negative outcomes and emotions, you're going to strictly deal with positive ones. But more on this later, okay? For now, just know that you are the way you are today because of your unconscious habit patterns. Once we change them, we change your reality. And by the way, you don't have to understand this completely yet, as we'll get much deeper into it later. You know, this is what Module 3 of this course is all about. In the next video, I'll talk about how to unleash your true personality and stop giving a fuck. And it's a very good video. I really recommend you to watch it, and I'll see you there.